Grief is one of the harshest feelings, if not the harshest feeling that someone can experience. I'm pretty young, at least in the eyes of the older generations and stuff. I'm 21 years old. I just had my birthday in June during the summer. It was in August when my older brother, he passed away. The last thing I remember with him is going to my local water park and going there and us just playing around, and I just remember seeing him smile, and I'll just always remember his smile. It was so nice. I've had a very hard time coming to terms with it and a much tougher time understanding it. I've experienced immense sadness. I'm not ashamed to say I have also felt extreme anger and really all the feelings in between those. First of all, I am deeply sad. I'm very devastated. His name is Cody, 24 years old. I come from a family of 5. My mom, me, my two little brothers, and my older brother. He was the coolest person I ever had the pleasure of meeting. We didn't have a dad. Never. Not growing up, not now. So the person me and my little brothers looked up to the most was, 1, obviously my mom, but 2, Cody. Definitely. He always was just awesome. And I remember just growing up, we'd play sports, basketball, or even with video games and whatever we did. He was always better than me in everything, and I really enjoyed that about him because he was just so awesome, dude. Like, how could I not look up to somebody so awesome? And so he was great. He was one of my best friends growing up, a great inspiration to me, and now my reminder of everything that is great about this universe. I'm, for the most part, a very optimistic person. I like to find the beauty and positivity within everything and anything I do, and I think that was the biggest hurdle I had to get through after he passed away, because I really tried doing that after he died, and I'm not sure exactly why I do that. That's just what I like to do. But it's death. A lot of things in life are not black and white, but life and death, they are definitely black and white. One is very awesome, while the other is it's just death. It's very natural, but like no one's celebrating death, and it's very sad. And not only did I lose a brother, I know how much that hurts now, and it does hurt, and it will probably it'll hurt for the rest of my life. But my mom, she lost a son, and I can't even imagine I know how much pain I am in. I know grief very well now, so I can't even begin to imagine what she's going through. And grief, everyone has their own experience with it, and everyone just goes through it differently. So I guess my way of grieving is just holding up his memory and trying to tell the world about who he was, who he is, what he represents to me, and who I have become because of that. And I have a deep respect for his life and for who he was as a person, and that's something I'll always take with me everywhere I go. I remember the night very well. It was August 6th, 2025, around 9 p.m. He had very severe alcoholism and very severe schizophrenia. I remember the first time he went into psychosis, it was around 2021, 2 years before I ever even thought about making YouTube videos and stuff and doing whatever I do now. But psychosis and schizophrenia, when a person isn't lucid and they're in those states, and even with addiction and stuff like that, it's very, in a way, it already felt like I had lost him back then, and I just didn't know how to process it. I was like just about to graduate high school around then, and then I did graduate high school, but I still was learning how to live with someone with schizophrenia and psychosis and whatever, and it was a lot for myself. Thankfully, I had family there to help me through it, but it was a lot. Even just, it doesn't, schizophrenia and addiction, they don't just affect the immediate person who's going through it, but they also affect everyone around them, or everyone that is around them. And so I looked up to Cody, I still do, and even when he was going through schizophrenia, but I looked up to him all my life, and for some reason, especially with the schizophrenia, I thought that one day he's gonna grow out of it and just be exactly who I always saw him as an awesome person, a leader. People were always attracted to him. Even as kids, like, he was very popular in school. He had a bunch of friends. He talked to a lot of people, and he didn't even have to try, that was just who he was. Me and my family, we never had much growing up. Everything I have now, like, the stuff I make YouTube videos with and whatever materialistic things I have now, I had to work a whole lot just to get them and do all this, what I do now. It took me 21 years to get to where I'm at now, and and I just wanted to show Cody everything that I've built for myself, and I wanted to show him just exactly what he inspired in me. And whenever he wasn't lucid, it hurt me, because as devastated as I am now, I was even more devastated back then, and I just wanted to talk to him. I had a lot of things to say to him, and I had a lot of things I needed to show. I needed to show him, and it's only been 2 months since I've lost him, but it's felt like an eternity. And a lot of people, they will tell you that they are sorry for your loss, that they say our loved ones are with the light, with love, and in heaven, and whatever good they believe in, and I love them for that. And I believe he's resting now, and he doesn't have to deal with human problems anymore. He is free, he's in love, and that's at least what I believe. You are free to believe whatever you want. It's your life after all, but I know my truth, and I'll always stick with it. I know my words, they are true. So they will tell you, people, that your loved ones are with God, and I guess what I'm trying to say is that they don't tell you that you are still here. You are still only human with very human emotions, and you will be sad. You might even end up with depression. You might sit in your room alone in the dark, just waiting for something or someone to make you feel better. And all the hobbies you enjoyed, all the hobbies you ever did throughout your life, they all might start to lose their sparkle, and you might start to think that nothing matters. And I've been there, and I was there for such a long time, even before my brother's death, and I waited for someone to come save me, and you know what? No one did, and I had to do that shit myself, and so I did. And I'll always bring that with me wherever I go. And so people might tell you it gets better, and I will say that it does. But that's a place you can only reach if you start to climb yourself. No one can do that for you. And so you can't escape. You can't run away from your own feelings, from your own mind. You could go 1,000 miles from home and those feelings will follow you wherever you take them. And so I advise you with yourself to take them to a place of peace, your place of peace, your place of love, your place of rest, and most of y'all, your place of happiness. And it was only then at 21 years old I was able to understand grief. I was able to make peace with it. I was able to be happy again, and I'm able to love again, not just others, but myself, as narcissistic as that sounds. It's healthy to love yourself. And that was something I didn't understand until Cody passed away. So this is all very heavy stuff, I know. And after Cody passed away, I wanted to lighten the load upon my family, because now when it comes to, I'm the oldest out of my brothers now, and it's because of Cody that I was able to see just how gentle, just how kind, just how honest people truly are. And he was a very funny guy, and he showed me that I can love people and I can love life. And I'm very sad that he had to face so many unfortunate things throughout his life. He was the funniest dude I ever met, but he was also the saddest dude I ever met. And I'll come back to this, but yeah, he lived for 24 years. He lived with schizophrenia. He battled it for 4 years of his life. He has shown me the resilience that lies within humanity, within all of us, within you, within me. And he has shown me what it means to love, and he gave me a brotherhood like no one ever could. So I'm very thankful to him. I'm so glad I got to exist in these cosmos, on this earth, in this time, in this place. And I got to know Cody Racine for the 21 years that I had been alive. I got to love him and play with him and grow up with him. And I got to do all these things. And for that, I'm the luckiest person to have ever lived. And no one can take that away from me. No one could do anything with that, because I know my truth. I know my words. I'm the luckiest person to ever lived, because I had a brother named Cody Racine. I got to witness him and see him in his life. So he showed me the greatness that is a human. I'm never gonna forget that. Not now, and even after, I'll never forget that either. So Cody James Racine, he was born on June 14th, 2001, and he passed away on August 6th, 2025. He lived for 24 years, and if you never met him, he was an awesome dude. He was a great dude, a great guy. So again, I have been to that point where nothing matters, where darkness is the only thing you see, and where it feels like love has nowhere to breathe. And quite frankly, that place, I hate it. And it is such a sad place. But Cody, he gave me strength, he gave me love, he gave me all these things. So now I'm free from it, and now I know that you don't hate negativity. You don't fight fire with fire. You fight it with love and water, and you just give it love. It's through all these things that I was finally able to find my own courage. So I encourage you all, just as Cody did with myself, to be bold, to live kindly, and most definitely be yourself in this life, because truly there are systems and things that seem like they're set in stone, because we all live in this society that likes to tell us these things. But truthfully, you abide by your own rules and your own way of living. Like, and that's the truth. Anyway, I'm kind of staring off topic, but grief isn't something you run away from. You can't hide away from it. You can't overcome it. Nor is it something you fight or get angry with. It is a feeling that needs to be loved, because that is exactly what grief is. It is love, and eternal love. And he was the most ordinary guy ever. And because of that, he was so extraordinary to me. He liked hanging out with his friends, coming home after school, playing video games, watching movies, and I could always tell he loved his brothers, he loved his mom, he loved his family, and he loved any sort of life that walked this planet. He was the one who introduced me to video games, that sort of thing, and it was how I ended up becoming such a big nerd and starting this YouTube channel and all this stuff that I do now. And so whether it be me talking about stories or doing something as wonderful as action sports, scootering, biking, skateboarding, snowboarding, whatever, everything extreme, I owe it all to my older brother Cody, and I thank him for it. When we were kids, I remember walking along the sidewalk, and he would always tell me to watch out for the anthills. He respected life, no matter how big or small it was. When he was in high school, our cat killed a rabbit, and it was the first time I ever even heard of him crying. Even with schizophrenia, only a year ago, he volunteered at a warming center for the homeless. He was such a kind dude, a great guy. But I will say this about him, which is something that took me a while to even accept with myself. Growing up, he kept a lot of his emotions hidden and locked away. I think that's why he eventually turned to alcohol at such a young age. I didn't really see him cry that often throughout his life. I think because he was the oldest, he wanted to be tough for his family, for his friends, for himself. So he was. I only figured it out afterwards, but the only regret I truly have in my life is not telling Cody that it's okay to cry, and it's okay to not feel okay all the time, because eventually once you realize that, that's how you're able to, get into that state of being okay again. As convoluted and as kind of weird as that sounds, that's just a part of being human. And so Cody, he wanted to be awesome for his friends and his family, and I hope he knows that he was awesome. And I really just hope he knows that it was okay to be awesome for himself too. We never had a dad growing up, but you know what we had and always will have? We had ourselves, and always will have ourselves first and foremost. And Cody, he taught me that. I usually don't feel this fierce, or I don't talk this fiercely, but this is what it's just what Cody has taught me. And so now sometimes I cry, and most of the time it is over heartbreak, and it is over my own little reasons, but that's okay. And it's okay to cry. And it's healthy. So but sometimes when I'm lying on the ground, just in the dark in my room, kind of just in the middle of working on YouTube videos and whatnot, or playing video games, or just chilling out, or waiting to fall asleep, I stare up at the ceiling, just in the dark. I look up at the world, and that's when I remember Cody. And I'll share my secret with you all, that my biggest secret ever is that sometimes I cry for Cody. And that's what reminds me that I'm also human, and it's okay to be awesome, even if it's just for myself, even if I'm the only one who sees it, and even if no one cares, and even if this universe decides to just flick me off the face of this earth tomorrow, at least I was awesome for myself. So when I tell you to live boldly, to live kindly, and be yourself, I truly mean that with all sincerity, because there's no other life worth living than your own. And so Cody, he will always be my older brother from now until forever, and I love you, dude. You are my inspiration for everything I do, so thank you. I appreciate it so much, you have no idea. Or maybe he does, I don't know.